Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from ICM, and it is molded in 1/35 scale. So here we have more of a combo release because as you can see, it's a German World War II observation vehicle with the crew, and this is so-called Beobachtungspanzerwagen as far as you can see here, and it's Sd.Kfz 251/18 Ausf.A. And as you can guess, we reviewed already the previous releases. I think some of you might have seen the videos with those kits, so now we have just another variation with the figurines inside, and it is still molded in popular scale, so that's why it is interesting to check what is actually supplied here. And I have here the commercial sample, so it means you'll get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. So first of all, the kit number is written here, it's 35105. Here is comparison with my hand. We have quite nice box art, and on the side here you'll find some information about this kit. It's written here that we have 315 parts for assembly of the vehicle, and 11 and 32 parts for assembly of one figurine of observer officer and 4 figures of the German command vehicle crew. So quite a package, 5 figurines in total, and everything is sealed with this sticky tapes. But here on the opposite side you can see also the marking guide, but I hope that there will be more marking options, because otherwise you will have to find something on your own and it will require some reference material as well. So what I'm doing now is cutting through these clear stickers. In the meantime, I can also remind you that you can check the previous releases as well on our YouTube channel. Just type in the ICM and the scale you would like to check, and you'll find all of their kits from recent novelties up to the, let's say, some old of the releases which are still available in some model shops. So the box structure is typical. Here we have this color printed top cover, and then on the top you will find this sturdy box. Here inside we have, I would say, more of a tight fitment. As you can see, everything is filled up to the top edge, but as far as you can see, everything is alright. And this is a resealable plastic bag, so it should be quick to open. I just need to find a flap in order to open it, so just give me a moment. Okay, so what do we have here? First of all, I can see we have the clear sprue, which is packed into a separate plastic bag, so I will open it so that we can check it straight away. Here it is, clear frame, and we zoom in a bit so that you can see what we were talking about here. These are clear parts. I guess for this version of the vehicle we will need only the lenses, because there are not that many clear parts used on this type of the vehicle. But still, it's quite nice, I would say, molding quality, and it's definitely will be visible on your vehicle. Next we start with the gray plastic sprues. So the first one will be needed for the rear compartment. I'm not sure what is that, why we have a bit of the plastic balls here, but if we zoom out and maybe open the lenses, so here you can see what we have molded here. So overall molding quality looks fine. As you can see, attachment points are placed in a, I would say, more or less logical position, so they shouldn't be that visible. And here you can check those parts from the opposite side. Okay, next we continue with a bit bigger plastic sprue. So here I will have to zoom out in order to show you the whole frame. So let's zoom out a bit. Now you can see that we have the floor panel here, we have the top hull cover here, and also note that the top hull cover has all of the hatches molded separately. It might be handy for some diorama ideas, it might be handy also to expose the engine. Here, by the way, you can see the front wall with the instrument panel pre-molded, and if I flip it over here, inside we also have some guiding elements, some features, which might be handy for internal elements, obviously. And overall, I saw some of the kits, I would say builds of this vehicle in a finished state, and they were looking quite nice. Here we continue with another thing. So this sprue is full of small parts. Those are mainly interior parts. As you can see, we have steering wheel, we have also some radio equipment, and some parts for the engine as well as for the suspension and Pioneer tools here. Everything looks really good, so there is nothing to complain about, but in some cases it will be worth thinking how to paint all of that in advance, because later it will be really difficult to reach those parts. Next, we continue with two gray plastic sprues. As you can see, they are dedicated to the road wheels. So I will show you only one because they carry the same set of parts. Here we have the road wheels as well as the suspension parts. It means suspension arms. And road wheels, they look quite nice. Drive sprocket is also quite cool. But note that the rubber sections on the road wheels, they are pre-molded. So in case you would like to have a nice paint finish, you will have to paint it with a sharp brush or maybe to mask it somehow in case you don't want to do the repetitive operation. But overall, I think it's a really good looking parts. What is not that cool, and I think it's not even worth opening, is the vinyl tracks and the vinyl tires. They should be okay for the out-of-the-box build, but if you would like to have something better, you have to search for some aftermarket add-on which will be suitable for this vehicle. Next, we have the equipment for the radio vehicle. So as you can see here, we have this special antenna, we have some radio stations and more of the antennas which will be installed on the vehicle. And overall, it's quite nice quality, even though here you can see that the thin part was slightly broken. It's due to the packaging, so it's easy to fix, but it's just hard to miss it. And as you can see, the molding quality is still nice. Okay, next we continue with one more gray plastic sprue. This one is again the big one because here we have more of the hull parts. So as you remember, we had the floor panel, now we have the panels for the lower hull section. We have the engine parts, we have the wheel axles, and we have also the separate bonnet panels. And that's really cool because you can expose this engine, especially if you plan to detail it and also add some weathering to it, or maybe you plan to use it in your diorama idea, so then definitely handy. And here you can see also the parts from the opposite side, so we have quite an interesting guiding element system, so it should be easy to align those parts, but still it's worth paying attention to how those parts go together. And by the way, we have in the vehicle plastic bag, we also had the first figurine sprue, so here you can see it. I guess that's the commander officer. As you can see, the parts division or the parts design is quite standard for this scale, so it means separate legs, separate hands, one piece torso, and there are no guiding elements whatsoever. So in case you would like to have a nice fitment, pay attention to how those parts go together, because in some cases it might require some tweaking and maybe a bit more of liquid glue. Okay, next we continue with the sprue which is dedicated to the crew. So here we have the 4 remaining figurines. As you can see, again, all of the positions are predefined and the parts design is similar to what we saw on the commanding officer. And again, if I flip over the sprue here, you can see that we do not have any guiding elements, so be careful with these parts and also try to, let's say, pre-fit them to the vehicle before gluing everything into the place. Next, we continue with the decals. So for the decals, I can see that we have actually the kit number here, which is quite interesting because as you can see, we have slightly different symbols, and maybe this will bring us the different marking options. So we will see it in the assembly manual, of course, but first of all, I would like to show you the separate manual for the vehicle crew. So here it is. Maybe we can close the lenses a bit and zoom out. So it is printed separately because it's also a separate kit. As you can see, it has own number, so you can buy it separately. And here you can see those guys. We reviewed them already, so you can find the review as well as the article on our YouTube channel. And now we move on to the assembly manual. So again, for this assembly manual, as you can see, we have the new printout. It's not reused from the previous releases, so this is quite interesting. We have the short history note and the paints chart. We have also here the parts map. And then we continue with more parts here. And the assembly process starts with the lower hull section. So as you can see, it should be quite simple because we're just combining the separate panels together. And there are a lot of things going inside as well, so that's why I was saying that it's better to plan in advance how you plan to paint all of those sections, because later it will be really difficult to reach all of these elements. Here we have half of the page dedicated to the engine and gearbox, which are installed obviously into the engine area, and maybe it's a wise idea to add some wiring in case you plan to expose the engine. Next we continue with more of the equipment getting installed into the interior. We have also the special frame for the tarp, as far as you can see. Next we have the jerry cans, radio equipment on the special stand. Here we continue with some drilling some holes on the top hull section, and as you can see there is a template, so maybe you can use it in order to drill it properly. Next we do the same on the opposite side, and then we install all the separate hatches. Next, here we detail more from inside, and then we have, I'm just looking at these C parts, but these are not clear parts, so that's why I think the only thing from transparent parts through will be the headlamp lenses. Next we continue here with the rear doors. As you can see, they're assembled in the closed position, so in case you would like to open them, you will have to check some references in to see how they actually look like in an open position. Next we start working on the drivetrain, so here are road wheels, suspension, and this will take some time, I guess. Maybe it's also worth investigating how to assemble the top and lower section separately so that you can paint these parts properly, but also do not forget that we have the separate one-piece vinyl tracks, so maybe this will also influence the assembly sequence. Here we continue with more tools being installed from outside. Here, by the way, you can see the clear parts, clear lenses for the headlamps, and then the final steps are involved to some minor parts being installed here and there, as you can see. And I'm not sure, yeah, we actually have the several assembly options depending on the marking option you choose, so pay attention to this moment as well. And here you can see the difference between those two options. First marking option is here, the gray vehicle, and also you can cut out the map. This is quite interesting thing, I would say something new for ICM. And here we continue with another marking option, another marking option, and another map. And one more marking option, well, it's the marking guide for the German officer. So overall, this looks like an interesting combo for all fans of German vehicles in 1/35 scale, and of course I'll be happy to hear your opinion, so write it here in the comment section below. In case you would like to buy this kit, you can get it in Modelimex webshop, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.